Hello everyone! I am Wilson A. De La Rosa, grade 12 pre-baccalaureate maritime student from Lamao National High School. Join me as we beat one of the deadliest Squid Game challenges with physics, minus the murder. In this science performance task, we shall be able to 1. Apply Newton's laws of motion in solving problems. 2. Identify action-reaction pairs. And 3. Differentiate the properties of static friction and kinetic friction. A movie series with a cephalopod name with a violent and disturbing concept, Squid Game. In its episode 4, the weaker team managed to win and send their adversaries falling to their deaths because of a strategy. That is, instead of pulling when the game starts, all the players on their side should lean back as far as possible while keeping their feet firmly planted parallel. But can a weaker team really win in a tug-of-war using this strategy? To answer that question, we need to understand the physical forces at work during the tug-of-war, which can be summed up by Newton's third law of motion and the concept of frictional force. In every action, there is an equal and opposite reaction. Newton's third law says very specifically that the force on the rope on this team has to be equal to the force of the rope on this team. But if the force on the rope is equal on both sides, therein lies a paradox. How can anyone win? Perhaps there are other forces present. Let's check on these players. Aha! The forces of the rope on the two opposing teams are not the only forces involved. There are also forces on the feet of the teams, and that's what solves the paradox. Newton's third law says that as you push the ground pushes you back with an equal and opposite force. So, if the players on the weaker team push harder on the ground than the stronger players, they could theoretically win due to the angle their bodies make with the ground. The team that has their lower legs as close to parallel with the ground will win because they're going to be able to dig into the ground more and get a bigger force of the ground pushing on them. But what if the opposing team are heavier, thus has inherent advantage of physics? If you're approaching a game of tug-of-war mathematically, you want to calculate the maximum force to figure out how to win. The maximum force without slipping is the weight of the people multiplied by the coefficient of static friction. In short, heavier persons are harder to move due to static friction. Does it mean a weaker team cannot win? A weaker team still stands a chance because tug-of-war involves movement. Moving friction likely saves the weaker players in Squid Game who suddenly step forward in the game's final moment, causing the stronger players to slip. And remember, the coefficient of moving friction is usually lower, so if you can trick the other side to slip by a sudden pull, for example, they will find it hard to stop slipping. All you need to do is pull them harder while they are off balance, and tada! You win! And that is how we beat the Squid Game's tug-of-war challenge with Newton's third law of motion and the concept of static and kinetic friction. Thank you for watching! Bye!